He is WWE Chief Content Officer, Paul Triple H Levesque. Thank you so much for joining us. I know you have a few words for our media here in attendance tonight.
I do, and I need my glasses to read them. First of all, thank you all for being here. I know it's you're all extremely good about traveling to the States when we put on events, and it's nice to be able to come over here once in a while and give you guys a home game to be a part of. So thank you for being here. Can't say enough about the UK, can't say enough about London, can't say enough about this whole tour. Crowds here, you know, I've been coming here for a long time, and it's always been one of my favorite places to be. Anytime there was a European tour, you knew it was going to be a blast. You knew that everybody that came out was going to want to get crazy. It's just only increased over the years. Your creative chants have increased, some for the better, some not, but but they've increased, and it's always a blast. You know, Cena said it in a wonderful way tonight, and I think you see it sometimes now at some of these shows in the way we're designing and building sets, like where there's a minimalist feature to it, because you know, the crowd is the star, and the crowd is the secret, and the crowd is what makes the excitement, and it's everything else. The bells and whistles are bells and whistles, but why we do what we do, why we go out there every night, why these talent go out there every single night, put their bodies on the line, do what they do, put their blood, sweat, and tears into it, is to entertain all of you. For people like you right there, little guy sitting there right there, you know, for everybody that's in here, it's why we do what we do. So I love the fact that you come here and make a spectacle of yourselves, and enjoy it and have a blast, and start to finish. It's so I thank you to all of you for that part of it. It's been an amazing week here, from Liverpool to Sheffield to Newcastle to Dublin, of course, tonight here in London. Tomorrow in Cardiff will be the same. Just everywhere we go here, it's awesome. It's wonderful to see, and it's and you know, thank you. A little bit on the performance side of this, tonight was the highest grossing arena event in the history of WWE. So let that sink in for a moment. In the history of WWE, it's a pretty long history. Highest grossing arena event in its history. Last night was the highest grossing SmackDown in WWE history. Those are two pretty bold statements that everybody here should be very proud of, and I know we're very proud of, so thank you very much for that as well. More than 37,000 fans over the last two nights just here in the O2 alone, and we'll have numbers this week because of the American holiday. It's going to take us a minute to get through all this, but sponsorship, merchandise, social media, all records for Money in the Bank. So we already know that. It's just getting the specific numbers. So, you know, successful week across the board. As far as the talent goes, you know, we hold our breath on events like this for everybody. You know, there's the risk-reward ratio of what you're doing, and you hold your breath as the Money in the Bank ladder matches take place, and the high-risk moments and things that you know are going to happen. Happy to say that the only injury tonight was, and I'm not even going to say who it was because I don't want to embarrass them, but the only injury tonight was somebody on their way back from the ring after having done basically nothing, rolled their ankle on the walk back. Wonderfully successful night, and more importantly than that, everybody's healthy. So that's awesome. Men's Money in the Bank ladder match, Logan Paul showing again why I cannot believe he does what he does and as good as he is. He has no right to be as good as he is this early doing this, but damn it, he is. And my hat's off to him. He is fearless and gutless, and when you're looking at a guy like that on the holy crap moment, hanging with Ricochet on a holy crap level, like that's like you don't really need to say anything more than that. But Priest winning Money in the Bank ladder match, wonderful for him. I know LA Knight was a massive favorite coming in tonight, continuing that ascent. But you know, great things come to those who wait, right? And I think that rise is just getting started. A lot of different things tonight, a lot of different scenarios. Shayna Baszler, Ronda Rousey having a moment, turning on each other that we didn't really, I don't think anybody saw coming out of anywhere. Don't know what that's all about. We'll get to the bottom of it, but certainly ended up with new tag champs, so congratulations to them. Gunther showing his dominance again, just at a different level of what he does and the physicality of what he does. You know, you can't really look at it and say, God, what's the crazy, spectacular thing he does? He just beats the living crap out of you. And that's why he does it better than anybody else. But when it comes to beating people up, Drew McIntyre's pretty damn good at it. So this should be an interesting thing to lead us into summer. Cody again showing why he's a top guy. John Cena, nothing to do in the afternoon. Thought he'd pop by here and just say hello. You know, I know he said it all out there, why he's here, why he did this, and is here for that. But truth be told, every now and then in life, you just need a shot of adrenaline. And there is no greater direct main line of adrenaline than standing in front of 18,000 people here at O2 Arena and just doing what you can't do anyplace else in the world. So truth be told, he just needed that. EO, just again, massive night for her. I thought the women had a spectacular Money in the Bank ladder match, very creative finish, literally walking over her Damage Control leader to get to the top of the ladder and claim her victory. Congratulations to her. Seth Rollins showing why he is the world champion tonight, and Damian Priest already showing what makes Money in the Bank the interesting sort of twist to all of this that it is. And then of course the Bloodline, what is it that you kids call it, cinema? Storytelling is what we do, right, at the end of the day. And you know, there's a lot of special effects and there's a lot of stunts and there's a lot of different ways to tell stories. But at the end of the day, there's, you know, whether you're going to movies or whatever, there's everything is great for different reasons. But every now and then there are, you know, films that you go to that hang with you because the story, the emotions of it, all those things were just so impactful and they capture you. I feel like that's what these guys are doing, you know, and when you break that down, there's sort of a moment here where you have the biggest name, household name across the board for what we do, Roman Reigns, and he has elevated tag team champions and the tag team specialty group to main eventing WrestleMania, to beating him here tonight, just taking things to a whole level, elevating all those around him, elevating Sammy, elevating Kevin, elevating the Usos, elevating Solo. It's amazing what he's doing, and my hat's off to all of them. I thought they closed out a spectacular event here. And like I said, my hat's off to all of them, and I just want to say thank you to them because they are why everybody was here at the end of the day. So this all leads us to what should be a spectacular SummerSlam at Ford Field in just 5 weeks in Detroit. Now that we've come to your house, I expect to see all of you there in the States, in Detroit. And with that, I'll open it up to questions.
Great, thank you. We have our first question over here.
Alistair McGeorge from Metro UK, and really there's only one question, which is WrestleMania London, how about it?
I didn't think that question was going to come up. Yeah. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to John Cena for putting me in an unenviable position right now. No matter what I say, I'm going to get battered for it. Look, as I said earlier, I have been coming here since the early 90s. And it's spectacular. Some of my favorite events here ever, and the favorite things I did in my career have happened here, even sometimes without the benefit of television or it being broadcast anywhere else. But you know, we used to do the, what was it called, like insurrection or whatever we did here. You know, you know, years ago here, and they were always amazing events. The crowd here, the people here, the reaction here is always off the charts. As far as WrestleMania goes, it's tough. I wish it was that easy. I wish it was as easy as say, it's like, man, that's phenomenal there. Let's go. Right? And we'd be going to a lot of places. But I can say this. If you look at this year alone, 2023 alone, for the last 5 premium live events that we have done have been in international destinations, right? And you can look back in the years prior to that, skip the COVID one, but look into the years prior to that. It's not really been a common occurrence. Montreal sold out record sales. Puerto Rico sold out record sales. Saudi sold out record sales. London here sold out record sales. Bodes well for international. We are a global company. We intend to be a global company. We intend to be global. So never say never for any of it, right? The intent is there. It's a lot more difficult than it appears, but the intent is there. And if there's a way to get a lot of these international events done, we're hell-bent on doing them.
Great.
Trent Krim, independent.
Hey, Triple H, Jerry Collins, Sports Matters TV. We just have to ask, look, there's obviously a huge demand here for pay-per-views in the UK. Surely we're going to get another one in the next 12 months. It's got to happen. I know Mania might happen in 2 years, 3 years in London, but surely you're back in 12 months for another pay-per-view.
Did you guys plan to have a follow-up? Of course. I'm ready for it.
And I will mention Ireland. Look, Ireland is something in the long run, but look, surely we'll get something.
I've heard of it. Yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah, like I said, it's a big world, right? And we're a global company, and we're looking to get out there and to get to these locations. And there's not a corner. Well, there are no corners in the world, I guess. That's why it's a weird statement, isn't it? I've been everywhere, pretty much that there is to go on this planet, and I've never been anywhere where they're like, "Who are you guys again?" You know, it's amazing. The fan base of WWE. It's one of the truly, and maybe only truly global sports where there's no place in the world that they don't understand what we do, get it right away, and know who the superstars are, right? It's just a matter of geography of getting there, and when you have to factor in live televisions and all those other things, and you know, the amount of people you need to get to a destination to be able to put on the spectacle that we put on. It's not just the talent, right? It's a lot. The intent is to eventually get to all those places. Is it in the next, a few months? I'm not really, that all takes a lot of planning and logistics and everything else, but we're working on it. I promise you, just like I said about WrestleMania, we're working on all of it. We want to get everywhere. We want to see all of you. We want to be there in person. We want to break new markets. It's a global company. I think the future is that is where we are headed in the future, and that future is bright. So.
Good job.
We have one back here.
Nabay from Sky, Triple H. Lovely to have you here. I'm going to take the pressure off you. No more questions about WrestleMania and travelling.
Sorry, I've answered it now. Yeah.
You're a huge West Ham fan. Declan Rice has left. How do you feel about that?
You can't get too deep into that stuff, dude. It'll wear you out over here. It's the one thing about the football over here, right? You start getting too deep in anything. Like, I don't know, you guys, it feels like you just trade people, move people. Like, you can't, I don't know, I can't even keep track of it. It's too busy.
All right, one more question.
It's all dudes in here? What's going on?
What's wrong with me?
Particularly just another dude, I'm just saying.
Alex McCarthy, Man Online. Congrats on a great show again, Paul. Drew McIntyre made the return tonight. Obviously, rapturous invasion. Hadn't seen him since WrestleMania, a lot of talk about his status with the company. You were instrumental in bringing him back in the first place for his second run. Is that a priority of yours to lock him down?
No.
Yeah, it's always a funny thing of the amount of speculation that happens around things. You know, I can say this, just like I read stuff, you know, we see stuff all the time, right? That's printed and put out there, and people say, sources say. I don't know, I put like 75% of it is completely off base. If Drew had an issue, it's news to me, right? He just was out with an injury and getting some stuff fixed, and while he was out, he had something else he wanted to get fixed, so we did it. And here he is. He's an amazing performer. He is one of the, you know, the highlight superstars in this time frame, in this era. Thrilled to have him back, and hopefully he's here for the rest of his career. That's how I feel about it. And I think for, you know, he and I speak about it all the time. When all this stuff was coming up, it's funny, we'd talk on the phone here and there, and he'd be like, just laughing, like, oh my God, have you read this now? It just is what it is.
Awesome. Thank you all. Any final
Is there one female reporter in here?
Okay, we have one back there. Let's get one more.
The pressure's on now. It's got to be a good question,
Can
right?
you stand up for us and state your name? There you go.
Hi, sorry, Naren Flanders, the Daily Mirror as well. We've asked about WrestleMania, we've asked about premium live events. Can we ask about NXT Europe?
Yep.
There's a lot of British and European and Irish talent here. We saw some of them on the card this weekend. There's a lot more out there that kind of deserves their shot. It's been a bit quiet on this front. Has the UFC takeover slowed things down? Is it something that's still on the table? Do you have any kind of update, please?
First of all, let's get this UFC takeover. Straighten that out right here, right? Yeah, it's just slow down the process. You know, I think, you know, terrible with time. At some point, I don't know, end of the year, last year, whatever it is, we said in 23 it would happen. You know, I not having a crystal ball to see where everything was headed in that moment in time. Obviously, this transition with this merger with UFC, with Endeavor and TKO, it's changed the time frame. But I think the intent is still the same. I mentioned it under the premise of WrestleMania and premium live events going global. We're a global company. We're looking to be everywhere. And I think as you pointed out, there are a lot of amazing talent here internationally. And we'd love to explore that and give them opportunities to shine on the biggest stage possible and see what we can do with that. Just gonna take a little bit of time.
Thank you. Any final comments before we say goodnight?
Just again, thank you all very much for being here. Thank you for your support, and I look forward to seeing you in Detroit.